My most recent video about a certain atrocity that happened during World War II was taken down by YouTube for hate speech. But this and many other things have got me thinking about what is the proper philosophical orientation to have during times of crisis, which rapidly seems to be, impending upon us. I mean, you have things like the shooting in Minnesota, which has reignited, grievances about guns and gender ideology, and also bringing about the prospect of an Israeli-grade surveillance state that will soon be implemented.
I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks.
Would it have picked up on this, do you think?
100%. I wish my program would already be up. We're not launching until next week. I've got a dozen agencies on board, Trace. I just unloaded a major Northeast agency with over 2,700 sworn. This is America's early warning system.
But deeper than this, you have this rapidly ever-increasing underlying psychological tension that is brought about by an economic system that is not working for millions of people. There's an absolutely incredible video by Art Chad where he explains how so many people in the West only possess the simulation of wealth in the form of renting apartments and collecting consumer goods and transient experiences without having any actual ownership in the physical communities that we live in.
In the first stage, wealth would be contingent on land. You can farm on it, you can flip it, you can build an empire on it, but that all requires the ownership of physical space. The second stage would be like owning a house in a suburban neighborhood. You own the house, which is on land, but because of the HOA, you can't build whatever you want on that land. You couldn't start a factory or an opium farm, but you do own the house, which is an abstraction of the purpose of land ownership, an unfaithful copy. The third stage would be a condo. Now you have no land, just property. It's like owning a house that's floating in space. You can't tear down the walls, you can't remodel the bathroom, but you can fill it with consumer goods. The wealth of condo ownership is in reference to the wealth of home ownership, which is built upon the wealth of land ownership. A copy of a copy. The fourth and final stage, the pure simulacra of wealth, would be just the consumer goods in a rental unit. You own nothing concrete, no land, no lasting property, no equity, but possess the signs of affluence, floating free of any foundation. This is pure simulation. Wealth measured in transient, highly visible goods, rather than any material stake or productive asset.
These are the conditions that lead to atomization and the prospect of being radicalized by various ideologies. And I don't see how anyone could disagree that we are basically one major economic crisis away from a bunch of Luigi Mangione and Ted Kaczynski LARPers bringing about actual mayhem that historically we've seen in the past, but haven't really in our lifetimes yet. The whole meme of enlightened centrism, radical centrism, whatever you want to call it, is meant to convey an acknowledgement of the failures of our current system, the prospect of actual significant radical change to improve upon it, without going too far right into like religious dogmatism and moral absolutism, or too far left into moral relativism and degeneracy. And it's a difficult line to walk because I hold these contradictions that appear very hypocritical. Like, it is just a fact that I agree with many of the ideas of people like Tucker Carlson, Joshua Citarella, Nick Fuentes, ContraPoints, Dave Smith, Destiny, Crystal Ball, Jonathan Peugeot, and many others. Of course, I also disagree with, and in some cases am completely repulsed by, many of these same people's ideas. And, in an ideal world, the way that I think is, okay, we would, I'd bring all these people in the same room and I'd lock them in a room and I'd hold a gun to all of them and say, we're not leaving here until we can figure out like 3 points of agreement that we all agree on, not to make society better, but just to stop it from making it worse. Like, how about we all agree to an Internet Bill of Rights to stop a mass AI surveillance state and social credit score implementation? How about we tax capital gains at a similar rate to income and labor? How about we make it illegal for day traders to gamble at 50x leverage on cryptocurrency assets so we stop constantly creating debt bubbles that explode and ruin everyone's lives? But even these things, people will not agree with me on, not everyone. And that's okay, because one of my greatest strengths is I have a very high tolerance for bullshit. And I've said this from the beginning of the channel many, many times. echoing the opinions of 95% of sane people. If you think it's okay to perform gender reassignment surgery on children, then that's degenerate and disgusting. But guess what? I still want to be in dialogue with you. And if you think that race mixing is immoral or we need racial separation, then I think that's sad and pathetic and degenerate and disgusting. But guess what? I still want to be in dialogue with you. Because, and I want to emphasize this point very clearly, I don't care if you're racist. I don't care if you hate an entire gender or sex of one kind or another. I don't care if you actively support a country that I think is committing war crimes. If you are against the implementation of a techno-feudal AI-powered surveillance state, welcome to democracy, bitch. We're on the same team whether you like it or not. And the beautiful thing is once we work together to stop that from happening, I can turn around and stab you in the back to prevent your degenerate, racist beliefs from ever being made manifest. The greater the impending crisis, the greater the need to at least enter dialogue with and potentially temporary coalition with people who have destructive beliefs. And here's the thing, if you do not share this, radical coalition belief, or you think that where I draw the lines are wrong, that's okay. Okay? This whole channel really is only afloat because of the reliability of my hate-watching demographic. So please tell me why I'm wrong and why I'm secretly a bad person and why my facial structure, my elongated head actually betrays my golemic Semitic identity, which I will neither confirm nor deny. Anyway, until next time, good luck and Godspeed.